What's today's date? Today's the 1st. Good evening and welcome to the December 1st, 2011 meeting of the Planning Commission for the City of West Sacramento. As tradition, we always start off our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, and this evening I'm going to ask Commissioner Perez to lead us. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And as a reminder to the audience, there are slips of paper if you wish to speak this evening. It's over on the side credenza for matters on the agenda or not on the agenda. And at this time, I actually have no request to speak for matters that are not on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the Commission. So we will move on to correspondence of staff and staff communication.
Thank you, Chair Liebig. City Council has not met since our last Planning Commission meeting, so we do not have anything to report from City Council. We'd like to say this is our second.
David, is your mic on?
My little light is on.
Okay.
This was our second to last meeting for the year. We will be meeting on our December 15th at our next regularly scheduled meeting, and that will conclude our Planning Commission year. And that concludes tonight's correspondence. We have no memos or other PowerPoint presentations for you this evening.
Thank you. Moving on to the disclosure of ex parte communication. At this time, planning commissioners have to disclose whether or not we've had communications with any of the applicants on tonight's agenda. Seeing none, moving right along. Consent agenda. This time, the only thing on the consent agenda is the meeting minutes from the November 7th meeting.
I'll move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Sandine, seconded by Commissioner Galvan. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Hearing none. I don't believe we have any abstentions either. So, okay. Regular agenda. First item on the regular agenda, number 2, public hearing regarding the Buckeye Terminal LLC rail loading facility conditional use permit time extension. This will be given by Jim Bermudez.
Yes, I'd like to welcome Jim back to our planning unit. He went up to the redevelopment agency for a few years and has come back to planning, so we'd like to welcome here. You'll be seeing him, regularly, I'm sure. Given that this is an item that the Commission has seen, a few times over the last, several years, if the Commission would prefer to just go straight to questions and dispense with the staff report, we certainly would be amenable to that. Otherwise, Jim is prepared to provide a brief staff report for you this evening.
Would you like to hear a report? I have no request to speak either, so if you would like to go straight to questions, we can do that.
Questions of
okay.
Staff. And
well, thanks for coming out, Jim.
Just so you know, too, the applicant is here if there's any questions that come his way from the Commission.
Do the applicant wish to speak, or is just?
No, my understanding in conversation prior to the meeting is they're comfortable with the conditions. They're relatively, the existing conditions from the past approval, and they are satisfied and have no reason to speak at this time.
Just so you know, I will hold off on opening the public hearing until after we've gone through our questions. So if we would like to ask the applicant any questions directly, I can open up the public hearing at that time.
Actually, I have a question for staff. I apologize. This was noticed as our usual process, right, for the surrounding neighborhood?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions of staff?
None.
Okay. Formality. I need to open the public hearing and close the public hearing. And let's see. I have no questions. So I will entertain a motion unless there are other questions.
I'm comfortable with this moving forward. I'll move the recommended action.
Moved by Commissioner Sandine.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Perez. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Too much caffeine today. Moving on. Agenda item number 3, public hearing regarding fitness systems conditional use permit. And
Yes,
this will be given by David Tilley.
Yes, thank you again, Chair Liebig. Tonight we're seeking your approval of a conditional use permit, number 1105, for a indoor recreation facility to propose to be located at 2531 Evergreen Avenue. This is in a light industrial zoning property. Indoor recreation is the city's definition. This would be a fitness club, and it would be a similar layout to what you wouldn't typically expect, with cardio equipment, aerobics room, locker rooms, and other associated facilities. This would occupy approximately 25,000 square feet in the building and would essentially fill the building up. There are 2 other existing tenants in the building. Staff is recommending approval of the project tonight based on the findings that are in the staff report and with the recommended conditions. We also propose the Class 32 exemption, category exemption from CEQA, as this is an infill project going to an existing building with minimal exterior improvements. Project would require approximately 80 parking spaces, and with some improvements, there would be approximately 160 available on the site. Attached to your staff report are 2 letters from the other 2 tenants in the building that describe their operating hours and their general demand for parking. And so staff shows that there is sufficient parking available on site, especially during peak times when we would expect the facility to be busiest. And thus, staff would recommend approval of the conditional use permit this evening. And the applicant and property owner are here also to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, David. Are there any questions of staff before we open the public hearing? David, did the applicant wish to speak or just available for questions?
They're available for questions.
Okay.
Do not have a formal presentation prepared, is my understanding.
I have actually questions for staff, just a couple questions. David, what were the number of parking spaces that were required for this? I know you said it, I didn't hear it.
82 spaces based on our
82 spaces.
requirements.
Okay. Somehow I did my, I misread that, so. And that is available?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm supportive of this project, particularly with regard to the finding about it being desirable for the public comfort and convenience. So I'm supportive of this. I think this would be a great addition to this neighborhood. So, and I know that's only one of the required findings, but that's personally to me particularly persuasive with regard to this project.
I would agree with that as well, David. This seems to maybe serve a different niche than the existing city or the existing facility out here.
Yeah, that's our expectation. We did have the city's recreation manager have a conversation, with the applicant here, and the correspondence I received back is that it seemed like the facilities would be, complementary in that based on which clients, they would serve. With this one, we would expect to serve primarily employees of the surrounding businesses, whereas, the recreation center, serves more local residents and families. And so we would expect this to be, again, a complementary facility to the city's program, which is actually something that the general plan, some of the general plan recreation policies actually call for, is complementary facilities.
And I agree that it would. I'm glad they had a chance to talk. I know there was, in the past, there's been some previous businesses, some kind of a rub, so I'm glad they had a chance to talk and understand that. Thank you.
I have no real other significant questions, so I'll entertain a motion.
We would open and then close the public
I'll
hearing.
go
if
three.
you have not
Okay,
done so,
sorry.
please.
Oh,
All right.
public hearing? Sorry. Wait, what?
I need to open the public
Yes.
hearing and then close the public hearing.
I'll
And
go-
now I'll entertain.
I'll go 3 for 3. I'll move the recommended action tonight.
Moved by Commissioner Sandine
I'll second it.
and seconded by Mr. Gavon. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Okay. It's a hearing. Do we need to read off the,
Yes, we
Appeals process?
probably should read the appeal procedure just in case. That any interested party may appeal the decision of the Planning Commission in this matter to the City Council by filing a written appeal with the city clerk within 15 days of tonight's action, and the appeal must be accompanied by the appropriate filing fee.
thank you.
Mr. Tilley, that's for both items 2 and 3?
Yes, that would
Okay.
apply to both, that is correct.
Informal discussion? Hearing none.
I'll go 4 for 4. Move adjournment.
Moved by Commissioner Sandine,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Sandine. New name, Perez.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.